to Would I Lie to You, the show where dishonesty is sometimes the best policy. On Lee Mack's team tonight, a legendary presenter and gardener who loves a dirty weekend with his favourite hoe. It's Alan Titchmarsh. And an award-winning rapper who once released a song called Slow Flow. I've seen my doctor about that. It's very common. It's Lady Leisha. On David Mitchell's team tonight, a writer and broadcaster who trained as a psychotherapist in the 1980s. I wouldn't know about that. I'm a little young, I'm afraid. It's Philippa Perry. And a comedian who hosts a podcast set in beautiful Devon, which explains why he's always got jam on his top and cream on his bottom. It's Mike Wozniak. We begin with round one, Home Truths, where our panellists read out a statement from the card in front of them. To make things harder, they've never seen the card before. They have no idea what they'll be faced with. It's up to the opposing team to sort the fact from the fiction, and Alan is first up tonight.
Oh, great. My Madame Tussauds waxwork was such a hit with the ladies. It was kissed more than any other and had to be cleaned of lipstick every day.
David's team.
When was your waxwork first included in Madame Tussauds?
I think it was about the turn of the millennium, about 2000.
OK.
Where were the lipstick marks?
Mike, please. It's a family show.
Most of my body was covered with clothing, so it was, I suspect, on the cheeks and...
Right.
But actually, now that Mike's brought it up,
Yeah.
how much do they do at Madame Tussauds? I mean, do they do the whole body?
They do.
Including downstairs?
Talk us through the process.
Well, they take you in to the sort of the studio they've got, and they photograph you from every angle, and the way they get every angle is that they stand you on a turntable that slowly revolves, you see.
Are you naked?
No, they said, we can give you a pair of Lycra shorts that Tim Henman wore last week.
Oh. New balls. Where are you in Madame Tussauds?
I was next to Brad Pitt.
No.
I was.
When the kissing happened, they were choosing, with the greatest of respect, you over Brad Pitt.
But there'd be too much of a crowd around Brad Pitt, you see, so they'd come to me because it was easier to kiss me because there was nobody there.
Imagine, Lee, if the day were to come where you got the call.
Yeah.
What pose would you want to be immortalised?
I think I would go with the more traditional... I wouldn't have Lycra. I'm a bit braver. I'd go completely naked, but then I'd go with that.
David, you are more cerebral, if I can use that word, a more cultured man.
Yeah.
What sort of look would you like to project?
I think very much like on this show, riding this jet ski.
What are we thinking, then, about Alan's claim? Mike?
It's something bogus about it.
I don't think they'd let you touch the exhibits.
Maybe there's a rope round David Beckham and George Clooney, but
they didn't
when it's Alan
foresee-
Titchmarsh...
with the greatest respect, they didn't foresee the need.
It's more like the sort of romper room. Have a go. People have got in the mood looking at Clooney and Beckham, and then, OK, go in there and have a go on Titchmarsh.
I've changed my mind hearing about the rope. I think it's true.
Obviously, there are other candidates, but Alan is a very attractive man. And I also think, and I hope you'll take this in the right spirit...
Oh, dear.
No.
Not again, David.
Amid your sheer sexual charisma, there is also an approachability, which might mean that you got more kisses than other more stereotypically Adonis-like figures in the public eye. So I think it could be true.
Would it help if I changed my mind?
Yes.
Oh, yes, it would.
I've decided I think it's true.
OK, we think it's true.
Great.
Mike's got another gig to get to.
A wax Alan Titchmarsh besieged by fans. Is it the truth or is it a lie?
It is true.
Yes, it's true. Alan's waxwork really did have the lipstick cleaned off every day. Philippa, you're next.
For the past 6 months, I've been using David Mitchell to get me off to sleep each night.
Oh, no further questions, true. OK. What medium are you listening to David through?
I have found a stash of podcasts of The Unbelievable Truth.
Oh, the radio show. For those that don't know, could you describe The Unbelievable Truth?
There's 4 panellists, and they each deliver a lecture, and the other panellists have to... Oh, see, I'm going off now. Have to find the truth.
Look, this is not going to get picked up by American TV with this bit.
What is it about David's nasal drone that sends you on? What's the quality in there that appeals to you?
It's entertaining and it's soothing. It's like a sort of father telling me a bedtime story.
And how do you listen to him? What have you got headphones and?
No, I just have my phone very close to my
it's
pillow.
the speaker on the phone.
Yeah.
But what about your husband?
He takes his deaf aids out. He turns them off at night. You can't hear anything.
He has his own way of listening to David.
There is a lovely rhythmical quality to David's spoken word.
It's very relaxing and it's not in the slightest bit irritating.
No, that's right. That's right.
It's
Not in the slightest bit irritating. I'm going to quote you on that because it's not everyone's view.
series across the box.
He's not irritating, he's tedious.
It's not tedious. No, because if it was tedious, I'd go off on my own train of thought, which would be stimulating and would wake me
I
up.
see.
But, you know, a lecture on medieval castles, phew.
How do you get off at night, Alan?
Not very frequently.
How do you visit the land of Nod?
I spray my pillow
Steady!
with sleep mist. After which my wife coughs for a bit and I'm asleep.
All right, so what are we thinking now, Leisha? Does this strike you as true?
Not really. I feel like there's so many other things you can listen to that would put you to sleep.
All right, Alan?
Philip is clearly a fan. True, for me.
All right.
I think it might be true because he has got a voice that can, you know...
Comforting.
That's not the word I was looking
What are you going to say?
I think it's true.
You're going to say it's true? OK, Philippa. Truth or lie?
It is.
It's true. Philippa does fall asleep to David every night. Mike, you're next.
As a child, because I was so shy, I named all the toes on my left foot and formed a gang with them.
Least two.
OK. Well, would you like to tell us the names of the game, starting with the big toe and going down the row?
Big toe was Daddy Bruiser.
Daddy Bruiser.
Yeah. The one next to it was Long Pete. Because that toe's unusually long on me.
Just before you say any more, just remember, there will be a recap.
Right. Yeah, sure.
Keep these names short and rhyming.
Okay. And then there was Lindsay.
Lindsay.
The one in the middle.
Taking my advice, then.
And then my ring toe I named after my Auntie Barbara.
What was that one called?
That was called Auntie Barbara.
Oh, not just Barbara. Auntie Barbara.
Auntie Barbara.
Auntie
Barbara.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the one at the end was called Crushed Daisy because I used to have a lot of accidents and I used to sort of wang my foot into, you know, like skirting boards or whatever it would be.
Why Auntie Barbara rather than any other auntie?
She's my only auntie.
That's absolutely watertight.
Yeah.
That's an unusual thing to say about someone's auntie. Your auntie looks very watertight.
So would you talk to your
I
toes?
would talk to them at night. It was night time when I'd get particularly nervous.
Let's go back to young Mike in his bedroom, alone at night,
Yeah.
with his gang. Just recreate for us a little interaction with the toe gang.
It's not going to be untoward, is it? Your parents aren't at the door hearing you say, "Come on, let me give you a little stroke, Auntie Barbara."
At the end of the bed is a wardrobe where the wood carving is quite sort of ghoulish, quite sort of Munch and Scream thing, which I think was part of the problem. And I'd say, I'd tuck the toes in, don't look at that guy. He can't hurt you, he's made of wood. And then we'd get under the duvet with a little torch, and I'd light them up one by one. I would occasionally sort of draw little hats on them and faces and stuff.
Did you not think to ask your parents to just move the cupboard that was scaring you?
I did repeatedly.
And they just didn't?
They refused.
Because
They refused to toe the line. For that, round of applause.
What I want to know is whether some people groaned and clapped. If so, what was going through their mind?
All right, Leisha, what are you thinking?
I don't think it's the truth. Because I feel like, why would you only focus on one foot if you've got another 5 on this side?
Alan, what do you think?
It is so bizarre, it has to be true. I
Does it?
I feel terribly sorry for you, really. I think it's...
What are you going to say?
I'm going to say it's a lie.
It's a lie. OK. Mike, truth or lie?
I was, in fact, telling a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Mike did not name his toes. Lady Leisha, you're next.
Whenever I'm in the recording studio, I can only rap in complete darkness.
Well, David, what are the chances that somebody else has the same method as you? What do you think?
Complete darkness.
Complete, absolute, nothing on.
Why?
Because I don't like anybody to see me when I'm performing. It's a bit weird, actually, when I think about it.
But you've got like 60 million views on YouTube.
It's different, though, because it's just me and the cameraman. And then, you know, when you get into the studio, it's quite intimate.
I feel anxious about the fire escape light. What would you do about that?
Classic Mike. She's talking rap, you're talking health and safety.
So let me ask you this, then. If it's total darkness, you can't be looking at any lyric... I was going to say sheet music, but I suppose if you're rapping, it's not that.
I'm so sorry about my granddad.
You can't be looking at lyrics. Have you memorised the lyrics, or are you improvising the lyrics?
Sometimes I will be prepared, so I've already written the lyrics in my phone.
Well, for your generation, the phone is a companion, isn't it? It's more than it is for Lee, which is sort of a lifeline. It's a friend, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Have you got the red button in the bathroom now as well?
Yes. And what about the other musicians in the studio?
So there was a time when I randomly ended up in studio with Peter Andre.
Peter Andre?
Yeah, so weird, isn't it?
Wow.
And
But his orange glow just lit up the room.
but he genuinely was saying, you know, what are you doing? I was like, this is the only way I can record.
So how did it come about?
So that came about because I was on the Celebrity Circle.
Alicia, for the sake of older guys like Lee, just explain the circle and what it was.
Right, so the Celebrity Circle, it was basically... It's like a text screen, and you can only
So,
text...
Rob, can you explain what texting is?
It's just that little thing on your phone when you
For
press
Lee,
send.
can you explain what a screen is? It's not that thing they bring round the bed when they change your dressing. It's a different sort.
For Rob, could you just speak a bit louder?
For Lee, could you not make any sudden movements?
Could you take Rob to the toilet?
What do we think, Philippa? This is one for a psychotherapist to unpick.
It's a lie, no.
You don't believe it?
No.
Because I believe it.
And you're quite excited by it as well, which is nice to see.
What do you think?
I think she's playing you like a fiddle. I think lie.
I'm very comfortable with this scenario because if you both think it's a lie, I'm not going to overrule you. We'll go lie, but I'll say, oh, actually, I thought it was true, and that is win-win. We are going to say lie.
All right, let's find out. Lady Leisha, was it the truth or was it a lie?
It was the truth.
Yes, it's true. Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. This week, each of David's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest. It's up to Lee's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, Amanda. So, Mike, what is Amanda to you?
This is Amanda. I once hospitalised her with my elaborate dance moves.
Philippa, how do you know Amanda?
This is Amanda, and she caught me smuggling my cat into her zoo.
And finally, David, what is your relationship with Amanda?
This is Amanda. When I kicked her child's football back, she watched in horror as it sailed through the air and knocked her mother out of her camping chair.
Lee's team.
Mike, how old were you?
Around 20, maybe 19.
OK, and where were you?
Where was I? I suppose...
Well, don't suppose, tell me where you were.
I was in quite an experimental phase of my dance journey, is where I was.
I meant geographically, but fine. Tell us more about the dance journey.
I was I've got, no formal training in dance, but at that time it was quite muscular, vigorous, but it's sort of heavy storytelling element to it as well. Amanda was a friend, well, and is to this day, but she was one of the few people who would be, was happy to take me on, who would...
Take you on?
Take me on dance-wise, take me on at the discotheque. And,
so basically, was it in a disco?
It was a normal everyday discotheque.
Right. And you were in there with your friend?
With a bunch of friends.
And how did you know Amanda?
How did I know Amanda?
I don't know, I wasn't there.
Students.
OK, and you said you told a story in your dance.
Telling a story, yeah.
What was the story this particular night?
Ragnarok. I was trying to retell the Nordic apocalypse. And the finishing move was... the problem lay with it. I was trying out a sort of power pirouette.
Can you show us the power pirouette?
Well, it's been 20 years. I could try.
OK.
But it's like... the point of the power pirouette is very much the fulcrum is the heel rather than the toe.
Yeah.
So you're trying to do the full 360 with a sort of kind of cowboy swish at the end.
Yeah.
At which point they're reeling and you sort of saunter away.
Yeah.
And I then did a sort of tight funk twist, expecting to see Amanda, but Amanda was gone, and I assumed she was tired, she was exhausted, but it turned out that the fulcrum, my heel, I'd done it on her right big toe.
Long Pete?
I don't know what she called her toes, but the torque was such that it ripped her toenail clean out.
Wow. And that was just from you talking?
That was...
But you didn't feel that with the... Usually when you stand on something, you know you've stood on something.
I didn't know, of course. I mean, if I'd known, I'd have... I'm not a monster.
I have to say, that's some of the finest dancing we've ever seen on
Thank you.
That's right up there with some of my stuff.
Who would you like to quiz next?
OK, Philippa, can you remind me again?
This is Amanda.
Yeah.
And she caught me smuggling my cat into her zoo.
Why did you want to smuggle your cat into a zoo?
Because when David Attenborough comes on, the cat dashes to watch the telly and really just loves the animals. And his favourite things are lions. And I just thought it'd be really great if I showed him some real lions.
Is this Kevin, the cat that I've seen on your TV shows?
Yes.
Oh.
I've got this sort of backpack thing that the cat's got a sort of porthole with a sort of perspex hole so he can sit in it.
You regularly take the cat out for days out?
Oh, yeah.
And have you made this thing, or can you buy a cat carrier?
You can buy them.
OK, so where else have you taken the cat?
Oh, we go on long walks.
Well, you do.
Which zoo was it?
London Zoo.
So what does Amanda do at London Zoo?
She goes around wearing a lanyard, bossing people about.
Oh.
And where did she apprehend you?
Well, we were doing quite well, because I kind of knew I wasn't supposed to bring an animal into the zoo. I
Kind
did,
of?
Yeah, but I didn't want to face up to that.
Right.
So I put a sort of cardigan thing over his porthole so it just looked like I was wearing a backpack. And then to show him the lions and things, I just sort of turned my back there like that.
You didn't?
I did.
So now everyone's thinking, why is this woman not looking at the lions?
But it was the tiger enclosure where I came across her, because to see the tigers, you have to go up on a sort of walkway. And so I was up on the walkway, and when I turned my back and removed the cardigan so Kevin could have a look, Amanda spotted my strange behaviour, and then she and a keeper kind of escorted me out of the zoo.
Why didn't you wear the backpack at the front to make yourself look less suspicious and sort of like just cover it over and then, oh, it's like you flash it to the tiger? Can you talk us through the conversation with Amanda and the keeper?
She said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm showing Kevin the tigers." And she said, "You're not allowed to bring animals in here."
Did you not say, but you started it?
I wish I had.
All right. What about David's plausible tale? Refresh our memories.
This is Amanda. When I kicked her child's football back, she stood in horror as it sailed through the air and knocked her mother out of her camping chair.
So, where were you?
On the beach
Whereabouts?
in Cornwall.
So you're on a beach call with your family?
Yes.
Ball comes trickling towards you.
The ball came very near me and then sort of stopped.
Yeah.
And then I went with the instinct to kick it back.
How far away was the child?
I'd say probably maybe about where Alan is.
So Alan's the child.
Yeah. Amanda is sort of the distance you are, Lee, and then Leisha is the mother sitting in a
And you
in a
managed
chair.
to kick a football that far?
Brilliant, David. Brilliantly convincing.
How many years ago?
This was last year.
Right.
You thought to keep in touch, just
Yeah.
so she'd be quite useful to come on the programme and talk about it.
You've no idea. I mean, any incident at all, notes are made, numbers are taken.
He's getting so desperate, he probably aimed for the mother, thinking, at least I'll have something for series 29. And what did you say? I'm assuming you shouted, "Sorry, I was aiming for your child."
I went over,
Yeah?
thinking, oh, I'll help the mother up, but then actually, obviously, this was last year, so it's sort of the time of COVID.
Yeah, not a good time for going on holidays, but we'll let it go.
So people were going to Cornwall last summer, you know.
OK.
I mean, that part's true.
Only the
So I went over and sort of got to within a couple of yards and then sort of mimed helping her up while Amanda helped her up. Yeah.
Even though you said sorry, when you walked away with your daughter and wife, did you turn to your wife and go, "Not a bad kick, that, wasn't it?" Did you feel a bit proud of yourself?
No,
Okay.
I didn't feel proud of it because
Well, you texted me.
Right, we need an answer. Is Amanda Mike's damaged dancer, Philippa's feline finder, or David's outraged onlooker?
I feel like the sand scenario, it's not adding up.
Hmm.
What about Mike?
I feel like that isn't true neither.
I think Philippa's is very plausible.
You'd have to be a bit...
Well, but she is.
So what are you going to say?
So you think it's...
I think it might be at the zoo.
I think it might be the zoo.
OK, then we'll go with my team and say it's Philippa.
You're saying that it's Philippa taking her cat, Kevin, to the zoo. Right. Amanda, would you please reveal your true identity?
I'm Amanda, and Mike's dance moves put me in hospital.
Thank you very much, Amanda. Which brings us to our final round, quickfire lives, and we start with... It's Alan.
Possession.
Now, there's a box on the floor. Take the item out of the box and pop it on the desk first, and then read out the card, please.
Oh, little mini instrument.
Oh, Alan.
Cute.
My size of furniture.
These are 3 items from my doll's house. I have meticulously furnished it with everything I'd put in my real house if only I was allowed.
David's team.
Are those 3 things that you're not allowed in your real house? You're not allowed a chair.
I'm not allowed a chair that looks like that.
So this is your wife wearing the trousers in the house,
No, I'm not wearing the trousers, but you have to...
making
live in
all
a
the
house.
decisions,
No, not making all the decisions.
ruling the roost.
No. We have slightly differing tastes in furniture, and in a doll's house, I can just do it totally my own taste.
What's your favourite room in the doll's house?
The kitchen, because you can get very, very skillfully made, minute food. Pork pies, eggs in a basket, broken eggs on the floor. It's an incredibly...
Broken eggs on the floor?
Well, yeah, it's an art.
I want to hear more about the dishes and what foodstuffs have you... You've got pork pies.
I've got
what
a
else?
lovely...
Oh, it's definitely a pork pie.
Jelly? Or
Yes, there's jelly and
yeah.
trifle. There's a lovely centrepiece on the table with a pineapple on the top and fruit all the way around it. And wine glasses that got red wine in. Tiny weeny ones.
Where do you acquire these things?
You want it, don't you?
Yeah.
And would you call yourself the king? The king of the house?
I dress up my thumb as the king. And play the national anthem on a CD player while the thumb comes in. Do you decorate the house for Christmas?
Well, no, it's sort of...
David is genuinely loving this.
He
wants to do it.
It is finished now. It's done. But my grandchildren love it, and I undo the front and lift them up and show them the rooms. And then
They say they love it. I can see them in the car on the way to the house. Do we have to look at Grandpa's special house again?
You call yourself... You have no artistic temperament. This is wonderful. This is the world in miniature. It can be perfected without all the horrors that you love.
We know what we're getting him for Christmas now.
What sort of house is it?
it's Georgian, and it's on 4 floors.
Has it got attic rooms for, like... No, yes. This is brilliant. This is so brilliant. This is definitely true, and I want one.
I don't think I've ever seen you this excited, and it's a little disturbing. Now then, what's it going to be? Mike, is this true?
Well, at the beginning, I thought it was ludicrous, but he's drawn me in.
I feel the love, and I think it's fantastic, and I think it's true.
All right, then, so you're going to say
We're going to say true.
It's true.
And we're rooting for it.
All right. Alan, there's a lot riding on this. Was that true or was that a lie?
Oh, sorry. It's true.
And we can see a picture of it. Look at that.
Blimey.
Isn't
Thank God, how do we know that's not just his house?
And let's see another room. Oh,
That's the kitchen.
I love the lighting. It's very atmospheric. Are you all right, David? Look at his little face.
Yeah. There's a stag's head on the wall.
Yes.
You see, that's a perfect outlet for wanting to have a stag's head. You haven't had to kill a stag.
No, but what he's done is kill a mouse and got some twiglets.
What a wonderful reveal. It was true. Well done. Very impressive. And that noise signals time is up. It's the end of the show. And I can reveal that it's a draw. Lee has 3 and David has 3. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Good night.
A new series of Rose Matafeo's Starstruck is sweet, swoon-worthy and best when binge-watched. Up now on BBC iPlayer. And Love is in the Air in the Square too. They're all at it. Stay right where you are. EastEnders is next here on BBC One.